We've been telling you for weeks it was coming, and we have made it happen. It is the 6 p.m. premiere of the Wednesday Night Live show, and what we're going to talk about tonight, we're going to talk some New York Jets. We're going to talk some baseball. We're going to talk some NBA. Might even talk a little soccer. Who knows what we're going to talk about tonight, but I'll tell you what's going on. It is still Wednesday night. It is 6 p.m., and we are live. And well, welcome everybody to New York Sports WickerMedia. I'm Wa2K99. Thank you, as always, for taking the time to watch these videos. And I am feeling good. The sun is out. The sky is blue as opposed to black. And I am happy to be here for Wednesday Night Live. It's our 49th edition of the Wednesday Night Live show. So we're coming on a full year of episodes. Quick thanks to everybody who has supported me and joined along the way and commented and done all kinds of crazy stuff, guys. I appreciate it a whole heck of a lot. All right, so here's what we're going to do tonight. I'm going to do my 3 and out. I got a few topics to talk about. We'll talk some Jets as well. I got a few things to get into there. Of course, we'll have trivia as well, but I'll tell you this. I did ask a couple of people to ask if they're interested in coming on. Don't know. I just gave them the link and said, hey, around 6:30 or so, come on, stop by. And if you have something to say, if you'd like to talk, I got the forum, and let's have a little chat. Let's have a conversation about the Jets or whatever is on your mind. But we'll get into all of that a little bit. First of all, let's talk about what's on my mind tonight. And I'm going to actually say a quick hello to Yuki Matsui. Yep, we got people from all over. Thank you, dude. I appreciate it. I try. Thank you so much. Imagine Grimace appears on the show tonight. He's got a pretty full schedule, and I don't know. I'm not sure how good a mime situation would do on the show. You know what I mean? Yete is here. I can smell the logic using from this channel. Woosa! It depends on the week. There is a blend of emotion and logic, and I tend to blur the line between the two, or at least I attempt to. But yeah, all you have to do is watch me during a Jets game play-by-play, and you will see the meltdowns. All right, let's talk a little bit of 3 and out with what's on my mind in the world of sports. So Copa America. Yeah, I'm going to spend a minute or two on soccer here. You know, I said before this tournament began, the U.S.'s third game was against Uruguay, and that was a game they could not have to win to advance. A draw was one thing, but if they had to win that game to advance to the knockout stages, they were in a whole heap of trouble, and that's exactly the way it went down. And there was a minute we got a tease, just a little cock tease, didn't we? When it seemed the USA might just sneak into the knockout stage. You know, Bolivia, who is the worst team in this tournament, they had just tied Panama 1-1. The U.S. was tied with Uruguay, and if both teams had drawn, if both games ended in a draw, the U.S. would have advanced on goal differential. But then almost immediately, Panama scores on a goal or Uruguay scores on a goal that should have been waved offside. Not even 3 minutes later, Panama gets the lead back against Bolivia, and it was all over. This is the first time the United States has not advanced out of the group stage in a tournament that it hosted. Whether it's Gold Cup, Copa America, World Cup, you name it. First time they have not advanced out of the group stage. Here is what is so frustrating. The United States has not made any notable progress from the progress they showed at the 2022 World Cup, when a young, inexperienced team made the knockout rounds. The expectation was those young players would make the jump, take the next steps, and be in that top 10 team in the world. Well, the bottom line is this. They have all failed. from the top of the United States soccer organization all the way down to the players. It's like this pass is just off, or this defender's a little bit out of position, or they can't get this shot off. Now, the United States will be in the World Cup in 2026. They already qualify because they host. But this was their last major tournament until then, and they're left with more questions than anything. There'll be another Gold Cup next summer, which is just North and Central America. Big deal. I mean, how many times can you play Costa Rica and Mexico? It's not exactly inspiring anymore. And it may just be time to change coaches. I'm not one who typically likes to advocate for a coach getting fired, but the team has not made any progress under Greg Berhalter. The team needs a shakeup in the worst way, and you can't change the players. So when you have this young core, you got to change the coaches. I can't give you a name. That's not my field of expertise, but I know when you're not being physical enough, when your team is showing lack of discipline, when you have several players get ejected from games, that's on the coach, that's on the leadership, no matter what sport you're talking about. When you have lack of accountability, it's on leadership. So Greg Berhalter, I don't think he should be the coach for much longer. Let's see if the U.S. Soccer Association agrees with me. A couple of another quick hellos. We got the great Dane O. He is a newborn Mets fan, and it's because of Alvarez. Yes, go check out Dane O for sure. Definitely one of the better channels out there. Tony Alexio. Hey, Tony, good to see you. Are there any Chris Streveler updates? Let's see. It is July right now, so I'm sure he's working on getting a contract someplace. Yes, definitely hit the like. I appreciate all that support. You know the deal. We get our 15 likes. We'll spin the wheel a little later on. Earlier this week, we did a running back wheel. We premiered that on Nick's channel. And I've also got the secondary wheel as well with cornerbacks, secondary. So who knows what we're going to do. GVH is here. New time, same and passion, WickerMedia. Thanks, man. I'm doing all right. Work's a little bit crazy, but I had a half a day today, so I was pretty happy about that. Did some grocery deliveries afterwards, making a little bit of extra money. And I think I'm planning right now. I think I'm actually going to Mets Nationals tomorrow. I'm going to fly up from Raleigh to D.C. The flights look pretty open, just, looking for a good deal on a ticket. And I'll fly back the same afternoon. So the game starts at 11 a.m., which is pretty cool. That's something that the Nationals do. 4th of July, they play at 11 a.m., and I think that's great. Get the first flight out, get there pretty much right as the stadium opens. What's not to love? I just hope the bars are open nice and early. I hope those bars are open like at 9 in the morning. That's what I'm really hoping for here. Yes, we've got a lot of we got some orange for right now. It's not going to be that way the whole show, but that's what we got for right now. Yeah, definitely. All right, we're going to stay with the orange theme and talk a little New York Knicks. So I had already talked about OG Anunoby re-signing. We talked about the Mikal Bridges trade. We did a video on that. I have not been on the air since Isaiah Hartenstein left the Knicks to go to the Oklahoma City Thunder. $29 million a year for 3 years. Hey, Oklahoma City offered $11 million more than what the Knicks could offer. I can't have any anger about that. Hartenstein, I know it kind of tore him up a little bit to leave the Knicks, but for that much money, that much more money, maybe his last, legit contract, I can't blame him for a second for taking that. But it leaves the Knicks in a hole. They need another center because, I love the Villanova four. Bridges, Hart, DiVincenzo, Brunson. You could throw in Deuce McBride. You could throw in this guy, that guy. You could throw in a few other players. But do you want Julius Randle as your 5, as your center with those other 4 guys on the court? I don't like that idea. Randle is a guy who loves to hold the ball, shoot outside. What Hartenstein was able to do well was get those offensive rebounds, hit those floaters in the lane, and with those rebounds, it allowed the offense to reset. Randall's going to be too much of a ball hog in my mind, and I don't think that works. I'm not saying Randall doesn't have a place on the Knicks, but I don't like him as center. And the other thing with Mitchell Robinson, we're going to really see how his health is, all right? Because he's going to miss at least a quarter of the season. That's the MO for him. And he's a very limited player. What he does very, very well. His strengths are amazing. His weaknesses are very pronounced. But Jericho Sims has a long way to go. And most of these centers have signed now. I mean, as far as free agency goes, you may have to bring back Precious Achiuwa. You may have to do that, who they let go of. Otherwise, we're talking the trade market. But the Knicks need another big man. I mean, even in the draft, they didn't draft a legitimate center until the 58th pick of the draft. Yeah, who is this guy? Whoever he was. But yeah, Ariel Hukporti was his name. And the scouting report I saw on him says high motor, appreciates defense, could fit the role of a Tom Thibodeau center, limited offensively, and underwent Achilles surgery in 2022. So, I mean, I don't know. I just am not sure about, when Robinson is not playing, what are they going to do? Is Jericho Sims going to make that big leap? If he does, then that's great, but you can't count on it. But as far as the Knicks draft goes, Tyler Kolek from Marquette, the point guard, I was thrilled to get him. Big East Player of the Year. By the way, Josh Hart and Jalen Brunson have also won that honor. Most assists in Division I this year. I said Big East Player of the Year. He's excellent in the pick and roll, drives to the basket well. He can be a little bit of an agitator, so he'll fit in very well. Outside shooting could use a little consistency, but he's going to give you some good energy when Jalen's not on the court. Jalen's not going to have to play 45 minutes a game anymore. I really like the idea of Kolek on the Knicks, and I'm glad they traded up to go get him. And Jets is here as well. Good evening. Hope everybody is doing well. Yep, I think we're feeling great. 4th of July, I hope just about everybody has the day off tomorrow. Yep. Happy 4th to everybody. I'll probably be on the road, so as far as my food plans go, we will see. I know that Nationals Park, they got a pretty good fried chicken sandwich. Rolling Rooster or something. I wish it was Rolling something like that, but there is a good fried chicken place that I know of, and they got a Capo's Deli. So there'll probably be a fried chicken sandwich or an Italian sandwich over there in Nationals Park. It's definitely not going to be Ben's Chili Bowl. If you've ever been to D.C., and you know their food scene, about the biggest thing D.C. is known for is Ben's Chili Bowl. Bill Cosby was known for loving it, which made me wonder what was really in the chili, but that's neither here nor there. But it's like a half smoke, which is half beef, half pork. That's fine, topped with onions, mustard, and a ton of chili. And the chili is like super dark, super heavy. I mean, you can't hit half of it without your stomach feeling like it's going to drop literally through your feet. All right. It is a sandwich that just beats the crap out of your colon. That's all I can tell you. So, yeah, I don't exactly go to D.C. for the food scene. There is a Nando's chicken. I love me some Nando's. If you've been in D.C., Virginia, Chicago, get some Nando's. That African rotisserie chicken, with the fries and Brussels sprouts, amazing. Let's see what everybody's saying right now. I was high on Sims, but like Mitch, he's limited to be 26. Yeah, Mitch is still young, fantastic rebounder, no doubt about it. Can finish up around the basket, but doesn't really have a jump shot. Can't hit a free throw to save his life, But again, can play very good defense. So against a Joel Embiid, you're going to need that. Dane, how strange is it that there's still sunlight? When was the last time you started your own live stream this early? It's been a while. I've done 2 or 3 a few live streams that were not at the typical Wednesday slot. Like I remember when I think it was when Max Scherzer signed with the Mets. I think I did a live stream. Ironically, considering one of my most watched videos is of me absolutely ripping him to absolute shreds after he choked down the stretch in 2022. No, actually, you know what? It feels good. I'll actually be able to do stuff after the show. I won't have to feel like I have to get right into bed to get ready for work in the morning. Is Hakeem Warwick still in the league? Yeah, right with who's the guy? Otis Hill? Was that the guy from the 96 team? Yeah. I did grow up a Syracuse fan. For those who don't know, I did grow up rooting for the Syracuse Orange or Orange Men at the time. But, yeah, they left the Big East and not the same. I became an NC State fan, and it's the only time I've switched teams in my life is going from Syracuse to NC State because took a class or 2 many, many years ago. And I got to tell you, with NC State basketball, with Duke and Carolina there, it fits in for me as a Mets and Jets fan because the Mets have to deal with the Yankees, the Jets have to deal with the Giants. So I'm like, yeah, NC State, that makes sense for me. Plus, I love Jimmy Valvano. As an Italian, of course, you got to love Jimmy Valvano, You can't not love him. Yeah. For those who don't know, before my job interview, the job I got now, I did the interview the Monday after Easter. And before I went there for the interview, because the college I work at is like across the street from NC State, I went over to the Jim Valvano statue out front of the Reynolds Coliseum and gave it a high five and just try to get some good Valvano vibes. And it worked because I got the job. And now I'm living in Raleigh. Yeah. He's actually, yep, best speech of all time. Yep, no doubt. They've done everything on that. There's a 30 for 30 about that speech. I've got 2 Valvano books, one written by his brother. Yeah, the Jimmy V. Cancer Foundation, the headquarters are very close to only about 10 minutes from where I live. There's even a Jimmy V's, I think it's a Jimmy V's Osteria, an Italian restaurant downtown Raleigh. There might be a steak place too, but I know there's still an Italian restaurant. I have not been there, but I definitely plan to get there one of these days. But, I don't go out for Italian food all that much because, I try to go out for food that maybe I can't make all that as well. And I feel like I can make some pretty good Italian. Dane, I'm going grocery shopping for one for tomorrow. What should I buy? Well, I don't know what your tastes are leaning towards, but you definitely have to get some good protein in there. I mean, just look, you know what I like to do? Here's what I do. I like to go to a grocery store, like a reasonably good grocery store, look at the proteins because that's what's going to cost you the most money. See what looks good, see what's on sale. And then I like to cater it around that. All right. If there's like some good looking flank steak, for instance, I'll do like a tequila lime sort of steak. I can make some tacos with that. That works really well. If there's a chicken breast on sale, maybe I'll do like some chicken parm, or I have a Tex-Mex version of chicken parm, which is really good. The ground beef, I don't get beef as much as I used to because the prices are just so high. But I found like a good deal. Here's one thing I did. I found a good deal on pork tenderloin, like about 60% off pork tenderloin. So I did that with a little spice rub, a little salt, pepper, fennel, rosemary, thyme. And I did like a 40 cloves of garlic. Like if you've ever had chicken with 40 cloves of garlic, this is like the same thing. It's like a little bit of a cream sauce with all that roasted garlic in it, but I did it with pork. And, some potatoes, that's really good. So don't set your menu ahead of time. If it's just you, go to a store that has some product you trust, see what looks good, and then, bring your phone in and look at the Food Network app or whatever it is that you like, that you would go with, and cater it around that. That's my recommendation. So I really hope that helps you. Hey, Harlan. Hey, I only reminded you all for the last 4 weeks, right? I'm glad you're here, man. I'm glad you are here. Okay. All right, let's, we're 6:17. We're still not done with 3 and out. All right, we'll talk a little baseball here, of course, because I got my 7-line Army shirt. Orange and blue crew. This is the shirt we wore in Milwaukee many, many years ago. This was back in 2016 we wore this shirt. All right. So I got to say a couple of things about the Mets. First of all, this team in extra innings, it is amazing to think how horrific they were in extra innings not that long ago. So as of May 28, not that long ago, the Mets didn't score a run in the 10th inning 8 times. When you have that stupid ghost runner on second base and you can't bring him in 8 times, wow. Oh, that is crazy. So in their first 11 extra inning games, they scored 9 total runs. The Mets have now scored 11 runs in extra innings over their last 2 games in D.C. 5+ runs in extra innings back-to-back days. They are only the 4th team in baseball to ever do that. Sean Manaea, much credit. He pitched 7 innings, 7 full innings, basically a complete game in today's world, right? Christian Scott is back. He pitches tonight. As of speaking to you, that game starts in about 30 minutes. Also, Kodai Senga will be pitching in Brooklyn tonight. He's working his way back. 40 pitches will be the max, but the Mets are going to be going to a 6-man rotation. Senga's only going to be pitching every 6 days. I'm fine with that because the Mets do have a little bit in the they got a little bit of backup when it comes to starters. Between Senga, Scott, Severino, Quintana, Manaea, David Peterson, that's 6 right there. You could even put like a Tyler McGill. I know that there's a lot of Met fans never want to see him again. I don't blame him, but maybe you put him in the bullpen and he could give you like maybe 2 innings a shot. Maybe it would work in short stretches. So, but yeah, I'm super excited about the Mets. Don't have my ticket yet for tomorrow, but I am planning on being in D.C. And I do want to spend a minute on the Yankees or so. There's still only a game out of first. There are 21 games over 500. The sky is not exactly falling for them, okay? But Aaron Judge, to me, is kind of like Bernard King on the 84 Knicks. He's got 32 home runs already. He's as good an individual talent as we've seen in years, maybe since Bonds and Griffey. Yeah, he may be the best player we have seen since then, but you don't have much else around him and Juan Soto. I mean, Alex Verdugo is not a cleanup hitter, Well, Giancarlo Stanton is out. DJ LeMahieu is all but done. Jose Trevino, come on. But the real issue now with the Yankees is their rotation is too inconsistent. Carlos Rodon is all or nothing. I never wanted him on the Mets. I knew it would not work because you either get greatness from him or you get injuries and complete ineptitude from him. You never know what it's going to be. Luis Gil was the front runaway winner for Rookie of the Year. Now he's a question mark. His ERA has gone up by like a 1.5 over the last month. Nestor Cortez, he competes, but the upside isn't that high. He's sort of that first starter. The Yankees will definitely make the playoffs, but once they get there, do they have enough? And you know what? I've said this before. I'll say it again. It doesn't matter whether you have the best record in your league in baseball or you have the last wild card. You just want to get to October healthy and with good mojo, with good vibes. That's all it takes. And then let's see what happens. What report card score? Yuki Matsui asks me, do you give Carlos Mendoza? I would probably go I go B+. I'm feeling very good about him. When the Mets had that just horrific month of May, it could have overwhelmed him. He could have let this thing get completely out of control, but he has brought the team together. I think he's been very fair. He's been very honest. He's not a statue. He's not too buttoned up. He'll kind of give you the feel for what's on his mind without saying everything to the media. I think he knows how to handle the media well, which is pretty impressive for a first-time manager in New York. But also keep in mind, he was with the Yankees for a long time, so he kind of got the feel on how to do that. But when people have written posts on social media saying that they don't believe in Mendoza, even a former co-host of mine was pretty down on Mendoza. He texted me not that long ago, and I said, I don't agree with you on this one, and I think he's coming around. So, but yeah, I'm a fan of Carlos Mendoza, and I think the Mets potentially have a good manager for a while. He could have gotten a little bit angry at the umpire when they ejected Edwin Diaz in Chicago, a little over a week ago. He could have done that maybe, but I'm not going to kill him for that. But yeah, I like him. Get T-bone, Dane. 2 steaks in one. Get a T-bone. Yeah. Corn on the cob is a must for the 4th as well. The thing with the T-bone, they look good. Sometimes you get a good deal, but I find they're thin. You got to be careful with a T-bone because you could overcook it. Like some of the T-bones that I got a T-bone about a week ago, and it was like an inch thick. And by the time I got a really good sear on it in the cast iron, it was kind of like medium well, just like a little bit overdone. Now I added some butter and garlic into the pan, so it was still, and some fresh thyme and rosemary. So it was still really good. But yeah, I would say this, cook it. Like if you have a cast iron, go high heat and don't go more than like 8 minutes, like maybe like 2 minutes aside and flip it a couple of times, go about 8 minutes, stop it right there. That's why I like to get my steaks. If I get steaks, I like to get them at Costco because they're like an 1.5 inches thick and it's a lot harder to overcook the steaks. So that's kind of what I would do. But yeah, reverse sear in the oven. I'll give you the kind of steak thing that I would do. All right. It's got to be at least 1.5 inches thick. And you got to have a good meat thermometer, like a little thermopen like I've got. Go about 250, salt it first, 250 on a rack for about 30 minutes. You want to get your temperature to about 105 or so. Keep the cast iron in the oven too. All right, because I have a cast iron. I like the cast iron. Then take it out. So what you're doing is you're cooking it kind of slow. It takes time, but you're cooking it very slow. And then all you want to do is put the cast iron by itself on the stove, little oil, high heat, smoking hot, and sear it for the steak for about 2 minutes each side. You'll get that crust, and that should take you to right around 125. But remember, it'll still carry over cook for a couple of minutes also. So if you take it off at 125, it might go up to about 130 to 135. So I recommend you pull your steak about 100, 105 from the oven, then take it out of the pan when it's about 120 or so. You'll be very, very happy. And yeah, Dane, it's fine. You could always rewind, and you could even slow me down. So I'm speaking at 0.5 speed. Yeah, I've actually got some fresh thyme in the fridge right now. Yeah. I wish it was on my side. Yeah. It's like Jim Croce. So that's why Jim Croce's wife, the famous musician, that's why she had a restaurant. And that's why she had a cookbook called Time in a Bottle. I'm not kidding. It was really called Time in a Bottle. Yeah, but remember, the reverse sear, you want to have a cast iron pan and a good thermometer. You add those two things and a steak that's at least 1.5 inches thick and salt it for about a half hour, bring it up to room temp, you're going to be in good shape. Good shape. Okay, so I'll tell you what we're going to do right now. Yeah, come for the sports, stay for the cooking tips. So let's flip the banner over from, we went with orange, we went with blue. Now we're going to flip over to green. We're going to take that 3 and out of there. So everybody, it is July and training camp starts this very month. So everybody, say it with me, say it proud, say it loud. Let me hear you. Oh, that's right. It is time to talk a little New York football Jets, and let's start with some Jets news. And let's blow it up a little bit. I need a little news bulletin. We interrupt this thing for a special news bulletin, and we have some very weird, random stories to talk about with the New York Jets because when it's July and you got to dig for stupid stories, you're just thankful they're not embarrassing stories. Let's start with one though that's really, really dumb. Jim Ponce. How about this guy, huh? For anybody who doesn't know who this guy is that we put on the screen. This is Jim Ponce. He's a former musician, went to work for the Jets in their video and editing department for a little while in the 70s and 80s. Now, 2 months ago, after the Jets released their new logo, there was a 10-minute feature on the Jets website about Jim Ponce and how he designed the Jets logo. So that is his design. And he seemed so happy that the Jets were using it again. He seemed so happy. And I was just like, dang, this is really cool that they're able to interview the guy who designed this logo. He worked for them. They're bringing it back. It's like all coming full circle. And then this week, he's suing the Jets. Are you kidding me? He's suing the Jets for unspecified damages. He's also asking a judge to order the cancellation of the Jets trademark of his logo. Okay, the cancellation. He also wants a judge to rule that the Jets cannot use his logo on their uniforms and merchandise without his consent and compensation. So that begs the obvious question. What the hell happened the last 2 to 3 months? Is this guy desperate for some extra money? Did somebody get in his head? Did a lawyer call him? Did a family member get in his head? But this is ridiculous. 2 months later, after that really cool feature on the Jets website, he's suing the team. And I don't think this makes the Jets look all that bad because, believe me, I'm sure they would have talked to him and said, hey, we're planning on using the logo again. Now, I don't know if they planned on paying him. I feel like I don't think there's anything wrong with doing that, with giving him a little bit of compensation. But he is a former Jet employee anyway. I don't know if he has a pension, what the story is. But a lawsuit? To me, this makes Jim Ponce look very, very petty without knowing his life circumstances. This is just very, very silly. Really, really silly. And more than that, it's unnecessary. All right, let's congratulate Zach Wilson on actually getting engaged. The most shocking part of this, he chose somebody about around his age instead of somebody about 20 years older. Shocking. His model girlfriend, I hope she likes her eggs overcooked, because we know that's what Zach's going to do. And that's all I got to say about that. Good luck to him. And that's all we can really say. And Antonio Cromartie is with the Jets again under the Bill Walsh internship. He will be with the Jets this offseason. And as we said, the Jets will be returning to the Atlantic Health Center for testing on July 27th. So that is just 24 days away. But it's pretty cool that even though Leon Washington is no longer on the staff, Antonio Cromartie will be there. I'd like to be a fly on the wall for the conversations between Sauce and Crow. That should be those should be some very entertaining conversations. All right, so that's a little bit of what's going on in Jet news. Now, I do want to. You guys know I like my lists. I like my countdowns, right? Last week we did that. We ranked, or we talked about ESPN's ranking of every team's starters in the NFL from 32 to 1. They ranked the Jets 4th overall with 12 starters on offense and 12 starters on defense. Jets Mess is here. Channel member. Guys, remember, memberships are available, as are super chats and super thanks. If you would like to help out, it is always very much appreciated. I'm glad you're here. Welcome to the early bird special. I'm glad you are here. Yeah, Dane referring to Mr. Jim says he designed while on our payroll. Yep, that is absolutely correct. I don't understand what he's got in mind. Yeah, I'm willing to think either a lawyer or a family member got in his head or spoke to him after seeing that feature and said, yeah, we can get some more money. Did they pay you? No, we can get some more money. I just think it's sad that lawyers are getting involved, although I'm sure this will get settled out of court. Stuff like this is just, because to me, it's frivolous. This is almost on the level of the woman suing McDonald's for spilling the hot coffee on herself. It's almost like that. Yeah, Bobby doesn't like the new time slot. And Mess, I hear the time slot bores you. Is that true? Yeah, Mess, are you bored by the new time slot? I need to know. Bobby wants all the time slots. Bobby wants all the shows. Bobby wants all the guest appearances. That is true. Swig of water for the working man and woman. All right, so ESPN did another list that just came out today. Rider of Karma. I don't recall seeing Rider of Karma here, but hey, I am glad that you are here. Welcome to the Wednesday Night Live show. We're just getting into some Jets conversation. As a matter of fact, you know what? I'm gonna move out of the wicker chair really quick. I want to be inside the stadium, so let's all go there right now. Oh yeah, there we go. There we go. Just a few short months. Oh my God, Jennifer Slattery. Oh, I didn't know that was you. It's weird. I've been thinking about you, thinking, where has Jennifer been? It is so good to know that you're around. Hope everything is going well for you. All right. Look at this budget. That's right. We spared no expense. Yeah, once YouTube got over all the copyright issues because I was playing apparently illegal music, yes, now we can do stuff again. All right, but on the ESPN rankings, they ranked every team from 32 to 1 based off their talent who is under 25 years old. Thank you, but not as great as you look. I appreciate it. All right. So the under 25 talent list, I'm not going to go through the whole list for you tonight. I'm just going to point out a couple of the highlights that I find very, very interesting. So I'm going to give you the AFC East first. So, and remember, this is talent under 25 years old. Now, coming in 32nd, dead last, are the Miami Dolphins. Because Jalen Waddle is now 25 years old. He's graduated. All you really have, you have Javon Holland, you have Devon Achane, but the Dolphins drafts have not been going all that well over the last couple of years. You have some talent, but you have some very unproven talent, and they rank the Dolphins dead last in young talent. You can believe that. Number 25 is the New England Patriots. You do have some good talent at wide receiver. You guys know I like DeMario Douglas a lot from Liberty and Liberty and Liberty, Liberty. 4th of July is tomorrow. I can say Liberty, okay? But I do like him very much. They did draft a couple of receivers in Javon Baker and Jalen Polk. The one thing I didn't really love about this list is that they put rookies in there, kind of projecting if they were blue chip players. I mean, for instance, they put the Atlanta Falcons saying that Michael Penix is already a blue chip talent. I don't know about that. And they also listed Kyle Pitts as a blue chip talent as well. I'm not quite sure I'm buying that also. But they seem to like those players. So do with that what you will. The Buffalo Bills are ranked 16th overall in terms of talent under 25. So the AFC East is not doing all that well. So then where do the New York Jets rank? So ESPN has them at 11. Overall, between Sauce, Garrett, they're a little bit unsure about Brees coming back from the injury, but they're high on him. They like Olu Fashanu. I think the reason they have him a little bit lower is because they know he's not going to start, or he should not be having a whole lot of starts with Tyron Smith there. And I think if Tyron Smith wasn't there and Fashanu was starting, it would have taken the Jets up a couple of spots. But you have Jermaine Johnson, Elijah Vera Tucker, and I think Tony Adams, all hitting 25 years old, so they don't count as part of the under 25 talent, if that makes sense. All right, so they got the Jets at 11, and I think they said last year they would have been third. They would have been very, very high in 2023. All right, a couple other quick comments. Jennifer saying McDaniels overrated. I said it. You know what? I think some of the things he does do well. But, yeah, I just don't think – to me, the Dolphins are your classic bully team. They'll run you out of the floor if you don't have out off the field if you don't have a whole lot of talent. But if you hit them in the mouth, they don't respond. And that is who they are until they prove otherwise. Hey, Nate, good to see you here. Glad you stopped by. Dweeb Eubank. I think Dweeb Eubank wants the wheel. Well, hey, we get those likes tonight. We will absolutely do the wheel. We, by the way, have made, for those who haven't seen yet, the running back wheel and the secondary wheel. Jennifer, have you been here for any of the wheels that we've done? I don't know, but yeah, we've definitely got those wheels going on. I think that's like 8-9 wheels that I have, just whenever. Oh, unfortunately, this is football. Yes, that is true. I got 3 monitors and a laptop. Man, Nate is just you're almost on a Tigo level. Yeah. Tigo's got pretty much the Scarface security set up, like 6 monitors here. And plus he's got the video game chair. All I've got is like a bar stool behind me. Rider of Karma, what is this wheel? Do I really have to explain the wheel? If you know, you know. And if you don't know, stick around and we'll do it. Guys, if you want Jennifer Slattery to experience the wheel, smash that like button. Yeah, Arlen Abraham knows what's going on. All right, there we go. All right, so they have the Jets ranked at number 11. Now, what I'm going to do is tell you all the top 10, top 10 teams. And I'll notice 1 or 2 patterns here that I found interesting. Number 10, the Seattle Seahawks. Number 9, the Green Bay Packers. Number 8, the LA Rams. Number 7, the Jacksonville Jaguars. They listed Travon Walker as a blue chip player. Please. Number 6, the Arizona Cardinals. Number 5, the Chicago Bears. Number 4, the Atlanta Falcons. Number 3, the Baltimore Ravens. Number 2, the Detroit Lions. And number 1, as they should be, are the Houston Texans. So just to recap very quickly, from 1 to 10, Houston, Detroit, Baltimore, Atlanta, Chicago, top 5. Then Arizona, Jacksonville, Rams, Green Bay, Seattle. 3 of those teams only are in the AFC. So these NFC teams who have been, let's be honest, have basically been stinking it up for the last couple of years, have been starting to accumulate some draft picks and get some young talent. And now that is the conference with the bulk of the young talent. So maybe the pendulum is starting to swing back the other way towards the NFC. But what this means is the Jets are 4th in the conference in talent under 25 years old, only behind Houston and Baltimore, which makes sense. And also Jacksonville. I think that one's a little bit more debatable. Lawrence isn't 25 anymore. Travis Etienne, I don't think is 25 anymore. The wide receivers are, not very young either. But you know what? On defense, they really like Travon Walker. I just have never seen it. All right. So, yeah, but that actually made me feel pretty good about where the Jets are as well, because, there are a lot of people, a lot of critics who like to talk about how the window is closing. You have these, political jerk-offs. Just because they don't like Aaron Rodgers, they got to take a shot at the Jets any way they can. And on their power rankings, they got to bury the Jets all the way down at 25. Clearly no objectivity to speak of at all. But if you look at lists like this, the Jets are one of the most talented teams in the NFL. And it's not just a bunch of old guys, just because the Jets signed a couple of mercenaries, who have played with Aaron Rodgers, and they got some older guys on their offensive line. There is still a big core of this team that is super young, super talented, and they have not peaked yet. So just because our quarterback is 40 years old doesn't mean our entire team is old. And somebody might want to let our haters know that. Shoot, our punter's in his 40s, so he makes the team older by himself, right? Oh, by the way, I got to give Thomas Morstead a little bit of love. He actually did like a ask me anything, and he actually responded to my question. Thomas Morstead, a true man of the people and a true man of the low-level podcasters. So, the question I asked him was, if you had to kick a field goal, how far could you kick it? And he said, game day conditions, he could make one from 60 yards. Wow. How many of you guys have ever tried to kick a field goal before? I don't know if we have any kickers in here, but I remember I once went to an NFL draft in Chicago, and I waited online 45 freaking minutes to try an NFL field goal, and I hit a ground ball to shortstop. Clearly, nobody has ever worked with me on my technique, to say the least. All right. All right, I'll tell you what we're going to do. I'm going to go into my next, let's see, there are wheels. All right. Jennifer, I'll just go ahead and explain it. Yeah. Jennifer, just hang on. See, you know what? Yeah, it's a little bit of a low turnout. I guess a few people have to run really quick, but I would do a wheel right now, but we've only got a few people in the chat right now. Otherwise, I would just go ahead and do one just to get Jennifer initiated. I can't do it now. I can't do it just yet. The rules are the rules. I will say this: we do have our. Wait a minute. Do we have our likes already? Wait a second. Wow, guys, I'm checking. I think we've already hit the like threshold already. It usually takes us about an hour, but I think we've already hit it. That is freaking awesome. All right, nice. Yeah, let me just make sure. Yeah, we've already hit the like threshold. You know what? I don't know if anybody's we'll see if anybody shows up in the chat, but you know what? I'm gonna do the wheel right now. I'm gonna do a bonus wheel for you guys. I know, Dane, 6 p.m. will do wonders. Yeah, once people figure it out. Yeah, that's why I said hit the notification bell. But yeah, with my new work schedule, it's what I have. It was the best thing for me to do. All right, so here's what I am going to do. So I'm going to get a little paper out, and I'm going to write it down 1 through 10. All right. Now what I got to do is I've got to share my screen. Let's see. There we go. All right, there we go. And I think, no, that's not the one I wanted. There we go. There we go. Okay, yeah, let's pull up the 100 random Jets wheel. There we go. Okay, so now I'm going to have to. Now I'm just going to monitor the chat through through my cell phone. All right, so here is what we're going to do. So Jennifer, the idea of it came from, I was watching this video on a wrestling channel, and these guys basically, they do these different quizzes that are sent to them. What have you done? I've lured you back in. So they had a bunch of different wrestlers, and they would spin the wheel randomly. It was like a computer-generated wheel, and they would create a top 10 list as they went. So, for instance, if they got Stone Cold Steve Austin, they would have put him number 1. But here's the thing. You rank each wrestler or each player as you go. So basically with this wheel, what we're trying to do is get the wheel from 1 to 10, best Jet to worst Jet. Now, on this wheel, we have 100 random New York Jets from the past. We've got Ring of Honor players. We've got pretty good players. We've got absolute busts as well. Okay, so this is what we do. We hit the spin button, and then we land on a player, and then it is up to you, the chat, to decide where you would rank that player. But, of course, you could use every number only once. So if we were to land on, let's say, Kyle Wilson, he would most likely be number 10. But if we land on him later, and let's say the only spot open is like number 1 and number 4, well, we got to make him either number 1 or number 4. So that is kind of the vibe of how it goes. I hope it makes sense. And if it doesn't, well, we're about to break it all down for you guys. We are going to do a 100 random Jets wheel right now. We'll get back into the rest of the content a little bit later. And trivia is coming a little bit later too, so stick around for that. Okay, guys, so 10 spins, 100 random Jets. And this is going to be spin number 1. I'm glad you love it already. And we haven't even spun yet. Okay, guys. So, and there's one other thing that we do with this wheel. Before I spin the wheel, put your guesses down in the chat on who you think we're going to land on. Then if we land on that player, then you can pick whatever number you want to put that player. And we do that before every single turn. So, guys, put your guesses in. I am going to say we are going to land on Zach Wilson because we were just talking about him. I think we need to land on somebody ridiculous because the wheel can be very, very diabolical. All right. Jennifer's going with Wayne Corbett. Aunt Jets is going with Calvin Pace. Okay. Yeah, Harlan, I think Jennifer is going to understand very, very quickly how this goes. So, all right. I'll give you guys just about 10 more seconds. Harlan wants Pennington. Beautiful. All right. All right. So then after we land on this player, you have free reign from spots 1 to 10. Write down in the chat where you want to rank this particular Jet. And let's spin that wheel in 3, 2, 1. Spin. Try that again. I right-clicked. And we are landing on Sean Green. He was not a Jet for very long, but he was a very productive running back when he was here, especially later on in the season. Definitely had some trademark touchdowns in the playoffs for the Jets. So, Sean Green, where would we want to rank him? Who the fuck is that guy? Jennifer, I'm just breaking it down for you. You know, he was like our number 2 power running back. I will say this. At that AFC Championship game in Indianapolis, when he went down, the Jets offense went down with him. Jennifer, no. Jennifer, he's better than a 10. Jennifer, we have some legit busts on this team. We have Blair Thomas on this team. Sean Green at least had like that breakaway touchdown in San Diego, which basically was like the big play to put the Jets offense ahead for good. There's 99 more guys. Yes, but what if Sean Green is the best Jet we land on? Oh, Jen, you'll get it. All right, so we got an 8, a 5, a 7. I would go about middle of the pack here. All right. I was thinking about 6, about a 6 myself. You know what? I'll go 7 for him. All right. And I'm still trying to figure out the technology on how to display this to you when we're doing this. But right now I need to I feel like I got to maximize the wheels so that you all can see the names pretty well on the list. So Sean Green will be number 7. So we cannot put another player at 7 on the wheel. Capiche? Capiche. All right. Spin number 2. Let's put your guesses in. I'm going to say we land on Sean Ellis. We're going to get a little bit better than that, but same era. So number 92, Sean Ellis is my guest. You don't use OBS with StreamYard. What is OBS? Dan goes with Braylon Edwards. Okay. Not bad. Yeah, Jen, tell me what OBS is. I'm not really sure. Oh, broadcast software? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I could probably figure something out. I'm just worried it would look too small on the screen. I guess that's kind of my add elements and layers. So yeah, that's the thing. I've seen some of these layouts, but I've never seen how they do it. Believe me, I like to make this whole thing look better for sure. Yeah. Anything I could do to make it better, I definitely want to do that. Okay, Jen, tell you what, email me. If you go into the channel description, you'll see my email and we can chat. That'd be great. Thank you. All right. All right. Going with Braylon. All right. Spin number 2 in 3, 2, 1. And we are landing. Oh, it was almost Chad. Instead, it's Leonard Williams. Well, one of our top draft picks of the Mike McCagnon era. Good player, but just always felt like there was something more to give there, wasn't there? Like he was good, but he could have been better. Went on to the Giants, then to the Seahawks. So, Jennifer going with a 4. I guess she likes her some big cat. Jets mess going with a 6. Yeah, definitely was. And again, we're just looking at the Jets' careers. So, for instance, if we were to land on Ronnie Lott, we're not looking at the San Francisco years. Chad's pretty much going with 6. I think that's a pretty good place. I could live with him being just above Sean Green. I think that's pretty fair. Okay. Yeah. All right. 6 for the big cat. All right. So we got spots 6 and 7 filled. Let's go to spin number 3. All right. I am going to say Antonio Cromartie because, again, we were just talking about him. Or maybe I should have saved him for spin number 10 for the 10 kids I think he has. I don't know how many kids he's up to lately, but all right. But I'm going to go with Cromartie for spin number 3. Guys, throw your guesses down there in the chat. All right. Yeah, just a few short weeks away, and we'll be able to really get into daily news with the Jets. It's going to be fun. Yeah, I'll definitely be doing some bold predictions. Every year I do bold predictions for the Jets, so I will definitely be doing I think we'll do that on a future episode as well. All right, Jen goes with Keyshawn Johnson. Jets Mess goes with Santana Moss. All right. All right, spin number 3 in 3, 2, 1. And we are going to land on Sione Puha. 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 All right. Well, very low round pick from the Jets, but had a good, quiet career for a while. Jennifer doesn't seem to think so. She doesn't like Sione very much. She's got him all the way down at number 10 as well. Jen's got an interesting grading system, to say the least. Yeah, Puha was definitely not a flashy player, but he did a good job helping to contain the interior offensive line so that other players could have a major impact, because that 3-4 nose tackle, it's a pretty thankless job a lot of times. All right, Harlan and Mess want to make him a 5. Ant Jets is going down with an 8. This is a tricky one. Would you put Puha ahead of Williams and Green or below Williams and Green? But I feel like we're going to make him either a 5 or an 8. I think we're in pretty good agreement. Dame wants to go with the 5. All right, 5s are kind of pulling ahead a little bit. Jen, you're being outvoted a couple times here. 7 years here. Yep, Dane, good point. Yep. All right. Oh, man. Here's what I'm going to say. I don't know if we're going to get – I feel like there's too many potential busts on this wheel. I feel like I got to put Puha at 5. Because are we going to come up with a top 5 better than Leonard Williams on 7 spins? I don't think we are. All right. So I'm going to put Puha at 5. So we've got 5, 6, and 7 filled. All right. Let's go to spin number 4. And I'm going to go with – I'm going to take Jennifer's. I'm going to go with Keyshawn Johnson. How about that? Number 19. All right, guys, let's see your predictions. We have had people guess correctly. About a week ago, we had somebody get both the first and the last pick correct. It was pretty crazy. Bart Scott, yeah, Dana, I definitely agree. Puha, Williams, Green, you could throw them all up in the air, and however they land, they land. I definitely agree with that. Bart Scott, Sam Darnold, Lamont Jordan. All right, we got some good names in there. Let's spin the wheel for spin number 4. 3, 2, 1. And we are coming to a stop on, and this is why we put Sione Puha at 5. Stephen freaking second-round Bust Hill. Good wide receiver when he played Buffalo or was in practice. The rest of the time, holy hell. Jennifer, where are you going to put him? Number 3? This is why. Yeah. I will say this. I mean, Stephen Hill did catch a few touchdowns. He's better than, say, like Denzel Mims in my mind. But, yeah, we took the wrong hill. Oh, Jets Chaos is here. Dude, hey, glad you're here. I am glad that you're here, my friend. Give you an early shout-out a little bit earlier. But, yeah, thanks for stopping by. Check out Jets Chaos. Check out the channel. I have been there a time or two. Terrible and a high price to acquire. Very, very much so. Yeah, looks like the 10s are going to win out on this one. All right, so Stephen Hill is number 10. And Jennifer, by the way, if we land on a player that we've already landed on, we respin the wheel. Okay. All right, so already we've got Sione Puha at 5, Leonard Williams at 6, Sean Green at 7, and Stephen Hill at 10. Let's go to spin number 5. All right, got a client in 5 minutes. We'll see you next week for lunch. Sounds good. All right, so I'll see you when you're down in Raleigh, even though you already went to the pizza place I wanted to try. Now I got to go on my own. I'm going to go there tomorrow and get a pizza for the Money in the Bank show on Saturday. Today feels like a Friday to me. I don't know. Maybe because tomorrow's a holiday and I had a half day at work. But, yeah, today feels like a Friday for me. Maybe it does for some of you guys too. All right, I'm going to say we seem to be in the realm of mediocrity. I'm going to go with Ray Mickens, another cornerback who wore 24 for the Jets and wore it well. Is Isaiah Crowell on there? No, but he is on the running back wheel. Yeah, the for that one, yes. Dane is praying for Jeremy's client. Nice. David D. Hey, David D. Good to see you here. He's going with Alan Faneca. All right. Let's go to spin number 5 in 3, 2, 1. Jermaine Johnson, Dane says, oh, hell. And we're landing in we're staying in that same range. We're hitting very hard that 09-10 era with, pretty good workman-like Jets. And Dustin Keller, definitely one of them, was not a Jet very long, was not in the NFL very long, as he did get hurt, but definitely made some plays for the team and is one of the better tight ends we've had. But for me, he could be a little bit frustrating. Like, you remember that season opener against Baltimore? It was 4th down. He made the catch short of the first down yard marker, and he went out of bounds short of the first down yard marker that ended the game for the Jets. So, yeah. So Jennifer, yeah, we've already used 7, so we can't be 7. We cannot use 5, 6, 7, or 10, okay? So every number only once. See, this is where it starts to get more challenging. All right, I see a couple of 4s. Dane's going with 8. Okay. So Dustin Keller, would you put him above Sione Puha, Leonard Williams, and Sean Green, or below them? And to me, I'll be frank with you all, I feel like this is another one you could put him in with those 3 players, shuffle them however you like to, and it would work. So I got a few 4s. But I've got more 8s. Yeah, it looks like the 4s are going to win out on this one. Okay, 4 has it. Dustin Keller is number 4. So we are halfway home. I think Jennifer's getting it already. I do. So we have taken 4, 5, 6, 7, and 10. So left to fill our spots 1, 2, 3, 8, and 9. So I got to stick with the 09 era, and I'm going to go with Darrelle Revis. I think it's time to fill in that top 3. Dane says Sean Green was better than Dustin Keller. Yeah, you're more than entitled to that opinion. It could be, but Keller was here a little bit longer. They both scored some big playoff touchdowns. And Keller was a starter, Green was a reserve, so it's a little bit difficult to compare. All right, so Harlan going with Kyle Wilson. If that happens, the wheel is a bust, because to me, Stephen Hill was better than Kyle Wilson. But then again, just about everybody was better than Kyle Wilson. Maybe it's a thing. The Jets should not be drafting players named Wilson in the first round. Anybody notice that? Just saying. Kochery, okay. Oh, the MLB All-Star team is coming out pretty soon. Oh, cool. Kyle Wilson, Jericho Kochery. Yep, thought about Kochery. Brandon Marshall as well. All right, spin number 6 in 3, 2, 1. And it's going to come to a stop on – this is about the same thing again. Richie Anderson. Now we're going back a little bit in time to more of the Bill Parcells and Herman Edwards days, but Richie was here for a long time, sort of that backup running back, fullback role. We've had him on the wheel before, and he usually does not get a lot of love. Now, would you put Richie Anderson in that 3 spot ahead of Keller, Puha, Williams, and Green? Would you put him down at 8, even at 9? I don't think we could go top 2, but he was a pretty good workman-like Jet for, I think, about a decade almost. So where are we going to go? Jennifer wants to put him at spot number 8. Okay. Guys, how do you feel? How you feeling about Richie Anderson on this list? 1, 2, 3, 8, or 9? All right. Okay, I see a couple of 8s. I do see, looks like the 8s are pulling ahead of the 3. Dane's usually in the minority, I'm starting to notice on these predictions. But Dane will always have a good reason for why he's putting a player in a certain spot. You can't take that away from him. Okay, it looks like the 8s are going to have the edge on this one, so we'll put Richie Anderson at spot number 8. Jennifer with a fair point. Some positions have longer careers than others. I can't put it all on career length. Yeah. Also Jet career length too. That would factor in too. All right, guys, here's the deal. We've got 4 spots left. 1, 2, 3, and 9. So we got to start getting some really good, legitimately good Jets right now. Like right now. You know, if you ever play Yahtzee and you had a junk roll, we got like 1 junk roll left to get, but we got to hit these. All right, spin number 7. And I got to give this thing some good vibes. I'm going to go with Don Maynard. I'm going Hall of Fame, one of the greatest Jets of all time and one of the greatest wide receivers of all time. All right, guys, let's put your guesses in. Yeah, nice turnout in the chat, and I think it's just going to keep growing the more that we do the show at 6 p.m. and people get used to it. I'm pretty sure. And we're at about 925 followers. So the march to 1,000 is definitely on. So if you know anybody who might like the channel, please share it with them. That makes such a big difference. Harlan goes with Folk. Dan goes with Le'Veon Bell. A lot of people voting for Le'Veon Bell tonight. He's pretty popular. All right, spin number 7 in 3, 2, 1. And we're coming to a stop on Ryan Fitzpatrick. Ooh. All right, guys, so here's the deal. Fitz was not here a very long time, but he did have 1 career year when he basically rewrote the Jets single-season record book. Outside of that, not so good, and it is rather hard to get over Week 17 in Buffalo when he threw some pivotal interceptions. Jennifer wants to put him in the number 1 spot. Wow. So does Ann. Got a couple of 3s. Wow. The peak was high, but man, the fall was rough. All right. Well, I've got a couple of 3s. I've got 2 1s, another 3. 3 3s, 2 number 1s. Yeah, I mean, at this point, that's almost splitting the difference, but it's somewhere between 2 and 3. I might have to break the tie on this one, but it's close. Yeah, it's going to be 2 or 3. I'm going to go with 3 just because the finish was not good. And I got to be honest with you, I think we could get 2 players better. So I might cost us something there. I might, but I'm willing to take that chance. All right, 3 spins to go. We have spot 1, 2, and 9 left. And to recap where we are so far, number 10, Stephen Hill. Number 8, Richie Anderson. Number 7, Sean Green. Number 6, Leonard Williams. Number 5, Sione Puha. Number 4, Dustin Keller. And number 3 is good old Fitzmagic himself as Jennifer curses me out. I love you too. All right, spin number 8. I'm going to go with Al Toon. Al Toon. Jennifer wants a little bit of Joe Namath. Okay. That's right, Dane. I'm going with 2. By the way, when he starts driving, is that a cartoon? Dane going with Jerry Philbin. All right. All right, guys. I'll give you guys just another 10 seconds or so. I'm sorry about that, Dane. I've never taken somebody's like that before. Yes, fun crimes happening. And the best part is I literally just thought of it. I'll give you guys one other car joke. Las Vegas is doing, and this actually happened, is doing an all-nude car show coming up. The one car you really got to watch out for, the Ford Probe. You really got to stay away from that Probe. You know what I'm talking about? I'm not quitting my day job because that one actually pays the damn bills. All right. Spin number 8 in 3, 2, 1. Just for that, we'll probably land on a bust here, right? Oh, boy. Browning freaking Nagel. Yes, one of the biggest busts in Jets history. Had 1 great preseason, and that was about it. The quarterback that we drafted instead of Brett Favre because we couldn't pull off the trade to move up 1 spot, and we settled for Nagel, who I believe is now like selling finance or something like that. Or selling insurance, something like that. Yep, guys, I already know. 9, unquestionably. Now, I could live with him. If you want to say he was a little bit better than Stephen Hill, Fine. I can live with that. But yeah, we gotta hit some home runs now. Yeah, we got to come up with 2 Jets better than Ryan Fitzpatrick. All right, let's get away from this one quickly. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I went high last time and we landed low. I'm going to aim for low this time and hope we get surprised. I'm going to say we land on Blair Thomas. Dane, we've got 1 and 2 left. That's it. 1 and 2. That's all we've got. So a lot of times on the wheel, our last spot to fill is number 1, but I don't think we've ever had to fill both 1 and 2 in with the final 2 spins. So this is not going to be easy, but it could happen. It can absolutely happen. All right, spin number 9. We got to get a top 2 in 3, 2, 1. Come on, no whammies. Come on, no whammies. And I'm not going to look. Stop. Jeez. Oh, boy. Maybe we should have put Richie Anderson at 2. Wow. Vlad, big, ugly, fat Dukas, who couldn't block a turtle walking through molasses. Uphill. Man, oh, man. We boned Fitzpatrick. That's interesting way to say. Oh, Vlad Dukas, number 2. Somehow he still had a career after the Jets. I don't know how, but God bless him, he did. All right. Well, we got 1 spin left, and it's going to be our number 1 for the night. And it's going to be, can we get somebody good? All right, this is going to end well. Wayne Krebet at number 1. At least we went out on a very, very good note. A number 1 player who deserves to be number 1. I got to say, outside of number 2, this was a good list. Outside of that, it was good. But unfortunately, I cannot say that this list was a win. So you guys know what that means. Yeah, that was not a win tonight, guys. That wheel is a fail. Goodbye. All right, guys. So I'll tell you what we're going to do. I'm going to – oh, thank you. Thank you, love. I appreciate it. All right. I'm going to do a quick thing. I was going to do this last week, but we ran out of time. But, hey, it's early, so I could stay on for a little bit, if you guys want to hang for a little bit. And we will do trivia after I do this as well. So stick around for that. And by the way, I've already been working on my trivia questions for the season because if you've been around, you know I like to make the trivia questions kind of relevant, time into what's going on. So I've already got pretty much all my trivia ready for the entire regular season, if you can believe it. It's pretty much all ready to go. So we will bust that out. Let's talk about the Jets most likely to get a contract extension in 2024. Now, I'm not saying here that the Jets are going to be giving out any extensions, but if they were to do it before the season started, there's a couple of players in mind where I think it makes sense. Okay, now, first of all, there are a couple of let me give you the list of the players who are free agents after this year. I'm going to run through those. And this is based off the way I'm giving it to you is the amount of money they made this past year. So Hassan Reddick, DJ Reed, Mike Williams, Javon Kinlaw, Tyler Conklin, Tyron Smith, Morgan Moses, Solomon Thomas, Ashton Davis, Wes Schweitzer, Isaiah Oliver, Leaky Fotu, Chuck Clark, Kenny Yeboah, Tanzel Smart, Tariq Cohen, Tack McKinley, new defensive lineman, Jalen Holmes, Sam Eguavoen, Jake Hansen, Malik Taylor, Nick Bawden. It would have been Tay Hayes, but he got his ass smoked out of here. Bruce Hector, Austin Deculus, Jamian Sherwood, Michael Carter II, Xavier Newman, Chaz Sherrod, Brandon Eccles, Tony Adams, Irv Charles, and Zach Kuntz. So that the way I gave that to you is the money they made last year to the least amount of money. And I think Tony Adams and Michael Carter are near the bottom of that list is amazing. Now, I gave you a lot of names, but let's keep a couple things in perspective. Of the players I listed, over 20 players, only 7 of them played 50% of the snaps last year for their team. Aside from Mike Williams, and I leave him out because of the injury. But those 7 players were DJ, Tony Adams, Hassan Reddick, Tyron Smith, Tyler Conklin, Morgan Moses, and Michael Carter II. And right now they only have $6 million in dead cap space for 2024. Next year, they're projected to have $58 million in space, and that's with Aaron Rodgers' contract going up. Of course, the salary cap going up as well, but you have a lot more money to work with. And another point of this is a lot of the guys that I gave you are depth players. They're special teams players. They are players that you can replace in many cases. But of course, you are soon going to have some players who are eligible for an extension. Quincy Williams, the year is going to be up the year after next. John Simpson's only got the 2 years. Jeremy Ruckert's going to be a free agent because he was a lower round pick. Guys like Sauce, Garrett, JJ, they could all get extended as well as first round picks. But of course, you can pick up the 5th year options on them. So here's the thing. Sauce, Garrett, and JJ, you want to extend them, but they're not as essential right now because of the 5th year option. So if you have a very good player in the 2nd round, okay, who has 4 years, it's a little bit more of a priority to keep him around. That's something to keep in mind. How much did the cap go up this year? Let me see. I'm going to move this over to the side. Yeah, I got to look that up. It went up from $224.8 million up to $255.4 million. So right around a $30 million increase is what we're talking about, Jen. So yeah, it's skyrocketed. Yes, we got to pay the logo guy $30 million, and we won't be able to keep Sauce Gardner. Oh, the humanity. Dane wants to secure another DB before week 1. Dane, here's what I'm going to tell you. Have faith in Quantez Stiggers. Now, if you're talking about a safety, I can see you making that argument. But, they have some players. Let's see. And maybe guys like JBC, maybe they emerge. Let's give these guys a chance. But you still have your top 3 is as good as it gets with Sauce, DJ, and MC2. Brandon Eccles is still, and Quantez Stiggers are both fine behind them. Isaiah Oliver can play anywhere in the secondary you need him to. Now, of course, at safety, you've got Clark, Adams, Ashton. Not great, but when everything around that is so good. I mean, especially on the outside, your pass rushers, your linebackers, and your corners are among the best in the NFL. The best. What you worry about a little bit is the defensive tackles stopping the run, especially when Quinnen Williams is not on the field. But if all of that is working well, then you have Chuck Clark, who's an excellent tackler also. That's going to help safety quite a bit. You just hope that they can cover well. But again, when you only have $6 million, and again, you still got to pay Malachi Corley. He hasn't signed a contract yet, which is really messed up. So maybe that's another $1 million. But is Justin Simmons going to take $3-4 million to cover the Jets for 1 year? I don't know. Maybe if it's incentive laden, maybe. So I would like to, but let's see what we have to work with. And you know what? Let's also wait. Maybe I don't have the power to manifest, but if somebody were to get hurt in camp, then you need a replacement at that position. So let's hold off. Yeah. So I don't want to get anybody just yet. Extend Reed or MC2. Okay. Yeah. I mean, we're going to get into that in just a moment. All right. Okay, so I'm going to give you some players. I'm going to give you 6 guys, and I've ranked them from 6 to 1 on who I think is most likely to get an extension. Number 6 for me is Breece Hall because, again, no 5th year option. He's under contract through next season, through 2025. Now, it is not all that frequent nowadays that a running back will get a second contract, but the way Breece plays, if you could get him for like $9-10 million a year, you do that. Because right now running backs, they don't get paid a whole heck of a lot. I think the highest paid running back is at Saquon. I think it's Christian McCaffrey makes $18 million. He's like the exception. After that, you've got, I think it's Alvin Kamara at 15, Jonathan Taylor at 14, Saquon and Josh Jacobs at 12 million. I don't know what he's going to require, but I hope he's willing to take around $10 million a year. But I could see Breece wanting more than that. And as much as we love him, you know what? There are other players you got to keep that are at more essential positions. And maybe part of this is why they drafted 2 running backs this year, to have that insurance just in case. Because I'll tell you guys, I love Braylon Allen. I am a big Braylon Allen guy. Isaiah Davis is looking pretty good, and he's very pro-ready. He's got a little more experience. I wonder if this is like a security blanket, like when the Jets drafted Will McDonald, thinking Bryce Huff would go. So if Brees does go, just come back to the 24 draft with that thought in mind, why they drafted 2 running backs. Scott Foster, hey, good to see you, my man. Talked a little. I just posted a hockey video, so knowing you, I know you're going to want to check that out. Yeah. I actually did talk Rangers, Islanders, and Devils. If anybody's a hockey fan, I did some early reactions to NHL free agency, so you could check that out after we're done on the WickerMedia channel as well. Yeah, there's always ways with guarantees, but I would expect Brees to want to be paid like one of the best, because that's what he is. I just hope he doesn't want to reset the market the way Sauce is going to reset the cornerback market. You can't pay everybody, because again, the truth is it's not about what you make. It's about what percentage of the cap you take up. And that's what's so important. But Joe Douglas has done an amazing job of keeping these cap hits relatively low. I think the Jets have 6 players with a cap hit of $10 million or more this year. It's either 6 or 7. So, and one of them is Alan Lazard. How depressing is that? But yeah, so JD is very good at getting reasonable cap hits, but I think he's keeping that in mind for the players that are going to have to get paid soon. So let's keep that in mind. So Brees, I've got at 6. Number 5 for me is DJ Reed, and the only reason I have him this low is because I think you can pay 2 of your cornerbacks, but I don't think you can pay all 3. You can only invest so much money in that secondary. So to me, good as DJ is, he's a little bit older. And I hate to use the word replaceable, but if you were to replace one of them, I think the skill set that is, hardest to replace would either be Sauce or MC2. So love DJ. He's been maybe the best free agent signing the Jets have had. But as far as him being a priority, I think it's going to be one of those things. JD will offer a contract, say, here's what we're willing to offer. We want you to take it, but go out there, see what you can find. And I think that's pretty much where we're going to go. Because, again, better to get rid of a player a year too early than a year too late, especially when it comes to cornerback. Ask Darrelle Revis that question. Number 4 on my list is going to be Tony Adams. Now, it might surprise some folks a little bit to put him here, but I think he's only getting better, first of all. But keep in mind, he is a free agent after this year. And that is important for me, because the Jets don't have a whole lot of safety right now. Chuck Clark is on a 1-year deal. Tony Adams is a free agent after this year. And Davis, Clark, and Adams, all on 1-year contracts. I would like to see the Jets get a little bit of stability at the safety position. And I think Tony Adams is the most likely one to get extended. The Jets found him. They believed in him. And I think Adams might be willing to take a little bit less money per year for a 3-4-year contract. So I would like to see, even though he's not the most polished safety, he has a knack for making big plays. So I think Tony Adams would be agreeable to an extension, and maybe the Jets will pursue that during the offseason. How about that? Again, that's not saying Tony Adams is better at his job than DJ Reed is. So just a thought. Okay. Yeah, Dane likes the Adams-Clark combination. I think that's an intersection in Chicago, but that's another story. I think it's actually a subway stop, isn't it? Wait a second. Wait a second. Yeah, there actually is a skyscraper in Chicago called the Clark Adams Building, otherwise known as the Bankers Building. And you know why it's the Bankers Building? Because these guys are money when they're together. But yeah, there we go. I don't know what the nickname would be for them, and I know the building is in Chicago, but there actually is the Clark Adams Building. That is freaking awesome. So maybe, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what nickname you give them together. I don't know. The skyscrapers. I don't know. Maybe the skyscrapers. That's, yeah. But yeah, I think Clark Adams is on the CTA. Yeah, Clark and Adams is actually a stop on the Clark and Division. That is okay. Clark Adams. How many of you guys thought you come here tonight and you get Chicago inside info on the Chicago trains? All right, Google Maps. I'm not going to be able to sleep tonight unless I look this shit up. All right, so Clark and Adams. Okay, so it's on Adams Street, and I don't know if that's Clark. Yeah, Clark and Adams. So this is an actual intersection. So let's see what we got here. We've got the Club Quarters Hotel. We've got a South Indian restaurant. I'll pass on that one. The Revival Food Hall. All right, so that is an actual intersection in Chicago, Clark and Adams. All right, so we're going to have to come up with a nickname based off of this, I think. Do we play the Bears this year? No, we don't. No, we face the NFC West this year. And our extra game is against Minnesota. So we do not play the Bears. So, yeah, we got the Vikings. We matched up with them in division records, so we get the Vikings in London. So, yeah, we'll call them I'm just going to call them the building, Clark and Adams. So whenever I say the building, you know what I'm talking about. All right, so 4 is Tony Adams. Number 3 is actually going to be the holdout himself, Hassan Reddick. Actually, I think I really just wanted an excuse to display this picture of him basically walking around in like a reject from Cobra Kai. Oh my holy God, what is he wearing? But I can see a situation where they do come to terms, and he does sign like a 2-year deal. Or the Banksters, okay, the Banksters, yeah, we just call them money. Yeah, I don't know. But I could see a deal with like a 2-year contract for Reddick happening. Not like a long-term deal, but something like that. So we'll see what winds up happening there. Number 2 for me is going to be Tyler Conklin. I think Conklin is on the verge of a bit of a breakout season, especially with Aaron Rodgers throwing him the football. He's been a good stretch to the field tight end, but he hasn't really been that red zone target. But we know Aaron Rodgers loves his tight ends. Just think about all the times he's targeted Kenny Yeboah in practice. All right, he loves Yeboah. He's going to love Conklin even more. So I think that with Conklin coming up for free agency, it might be a situation where you want to give him an extra year, while guys like Yeboah and you figure out we don't really know what Jeremy Ruckert is yet, guys. Writer of Karma, Jennifer. Yeah, we're done with Uzama. We released him. He went to Philadelphia. He is, according to their beat reporters, a new weapon for the offense. Now that you all had your spit take, we'll move on. Yeah, but Ruckert, we just don't know what he is. I'm hoping that Ruckert will get some more time on offense this year in a receiving role. I feel like Ruckert had to be a blocker more to help make up for the crappy offensive line that we've had, and he should not have to do that anymore. You know what I mean? So I think if Ruckert could be in that H-back, fullback role that Nick Bawden's had, it frees up Tyler Conklin to go out and catch more passes because he doesn't have to stay in there and block as much. But if Ruckert, if he winds up being just a very, very good blocking tight end that can catch a pass once in a while, and then you've got, Conklin and Yeboah catching passes at tight end, awesome. I'm game. And then, of course, you can't forget the wild card, Kuntz from Old Dominion University, Zach Kuntz. So, yeah, we all know that. Sadly, Johnny is not here in the chat right now. I know that Mrs. Johnny is scheduled to give birth in the very, very, very near future. So if you guys can reach out to Johnny, wish him the best. I know he definitely appreciate that. But, I know Johnny was here. We'd have a few jokes on that pretty quickly. But again, with Zach, he's a great athlete, but is he a great football player? So he's one of those players, kind of like a Jermaine Johnson last year, Will McDonald this year. You want to see what he's got. Does he make the jump from year 1 to year 2? Very, very, it would be a bonus. Not counting on it, but it'd be a wonderful bonus. No doubt. Yes, we the people. That's right. Actually, no, I think we can do better than this. Let's do this a little bit. Let's do this a little better. Come on, guys. Dang. All right. Well, I'll just do this. Unfortunately, YouTube's being a little bit restrictive. So, hey, there's the wicker chair emoji for you guys. Okay, so, yeah, I got Conklin at number 2. And number 1 for me is definitely Michael Carter II. He has a skill set that I think very few players in the league have. You could talk to me about Kenny Moore, Taron Johnson of Indianapolis and Buffalo, respectively. But Kenny Moore just got $10 million a year to stay with Indy as their slot corner. I would pay Michael Carter $10.5 to $11 million. He is that good. Whatever stat you want to use to evaluate a slot corner, and that is like its own position now, guys. Like, it is like an all-pro position. Michael Carter is about as good as there is, whether it's yards allowed per play, tackling percentage, whatever it is. MC2 is the guy. And he's just one of those players. You want to lock him up because he is hard to replace, and you won't know what you have until it's gone. I hope that the Jets do, and I hope they lock up MC2. Yeah, Jen, I get it. My whole thing, though, when you're a slot corner, you don't have that other sideline to work with. You're typically working with a shorter, faster, not shorter. Well, yeah, shorter, but I meant to say shiftier, faster receiver. And to me, that makes it even more challenging than playing on the outside. So, yeah, I really hope that the Jets extend MC2 because, while Reed is very good, he's probably a top 10, top 15 cornerback. MC2 is, in my mind, top 1, top 2 slot corner in the NFL. Yeah, hybrid's very, very important. You got not with the cars, but with the players, yes. All right, guys, so let's get out of that, and let's go ahead and, but Jets Mess, here's the thing. I know we're in cap trouble, but remember, we get another $52 million next year. You don't have to give him an increase this year. You can have the contract start next season. So there's always, guys, we know there's always ways to manipulate the cap, and you might have to do it on a credit card where you pay the damages later, but there's always ways to do it. Remember, guys, we have $52 million right now in dead cap money that's going away. 52 mil. I'm pretty sure that's the number for this year. Let me look this up for you guys. Yeah, the Jets owe $52.05 million in dead cap this year, which has normally not been an issue for them. But yeah, this year it's big, and they won't have to deal with any of that this year. So that's going to be a very good thing to get rid of that. And just to break down the numbers for you real quick, I think I've got it here. Okay, so I'm going to break down the cap numbers on how you get there. So Laken Tomlinson, we owe him $10.7 million. John Franklin Myers, $9 million. To me, it's ridiculous. You trade a player, but he still counts on your cap. To me, that's messed up. But Zach Wilson, $8.4 million. CJ Uzomah, $5.9 million. Carl Lawson, $5.8 million. Dwayne Brown, $4.7 million. Jordan Whitehead, $3.3 million. McCole effing Hardman, $2 million. Quentin Jefferson, $1.5 million. Michael Carter, the original, $201,000. Jacques Patrick, who? $198,000. And Nick Barden, even though he's still with the Jets, we owe him an extra $100,000. Hank G, there you are. Where the hell have you been? So that's the breakdown. And thankfully, all that dead money comes off the cap next year, and you can use that money to sign some extensions. So it's okay to be tight to the cap right now. All right, guys. So it is now, we have been on the air almost an hour and a half on this 6 p.m. Eastern time premiere. And we've had a lot of people come into the chat. Yeah, we got a really good number right now. All horrible JD picks and that bad coaching could not make them better players. Well, what are you going to do? Well, most of those are free agents. Just about all of those guys are free agents, right? So, yeah, but again, guys like Tomlinson made sense. Carl Lawson, I still maintain would have been really good if he didn't get hurt. Yeah, Zach's the one. Yeah, Zach's the high draft pick. But yeah, I still will always maintain Lawson would have been excellent with the Jets if he didn't get hurt. So, thanks, Dane. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate the kind words. All right, guys. So you know what time it is? This is something we usually do about, 11 p.m. But right now it's 7:30, and we're going to do it right now. So every week, you know what I do. I bust open the books. I dig through the websites, and I come up with a question to challenge you, the most loyal of the most loyal fan base in all of the NFL, the New York Jets. Just how much do you know about your favorite football team? So if you dare, let's play Jets Trivia. Okay, guys. So let's go over the rules really quick. You have 5 minutes, and do not look it up. Do not Google it. And I wanted to now. It feels like the beginning of a new season almost. It isn't, but it's like this is like the season premiere of the Wednesday night show, of the Wednesday night live show. So let's go ahead and do a question to kind of get us all up on a good foot, get us feeling a little good about ourselves. I think that this is going to be this is not the hardest question that I'm going to be giving you all. All right. So the question goes like this. It is draft related. As I start the time, name the 3 players the Jets have drafted at number 2 overall. The Jets have had the number 2 pick 3 times in their just illustrious draft history. Who did they pick? Actually, you know what? We're talking about Jets draft picks, so we have to play it. Don't you feel like you're in Radio City right now? All right. All right, so we got our booze out of the way. Okay, so Dane starts us off by saying the newly engaged Zach Wilson. Is Zach Wilson correct? Oh, I think that faded. Oh, let me turn the fade off. There we go. Let's try that again. There we go. Zach Wilson is correct. Yep, that one was pretty easy. Okay. Wasn't Joe Namath? No, Joe Namath was a number 1 overall pick in the AFL draft. Yep, we got that one. Now we have 2 others. Guys, I will say this. If you aren't drinking, you might want to for this question. That's all I'm going to tell you. Yeah, I'm actually going to be in Chicago on Labor Day. I'm going to have to go to the Clark Adams building if they play well together, you know? I got to hit up the Clark Adams. Jennifer missed the question. That's why I got it right on the screen for you. I'm here for you. All right. Jets Mess says Vernon Golston. Is it Vernon Golston? It is not Vernon Golston. He was drafted, I think, like 11 or so. Yeah, so it was not Vernon Golston. I know at least one of these players is on the wheel. Jennifer says Santonio Holmes. No, Jennifer, no, he was a Pittsburgh Steelers draft pick. Yeah, we had to trade for Santonio when Pittsburgh got sick and tired of his act. I'll do a quick check on how's the game going. How are the Mets doing? Mets up 1-0 in the top of the 4th. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! Come on, baby. Oh, by the way, so here's I think I'm making myself a cocktail in a little bit. So here's the cocktail I'm making. I'm making a cocktail called a Casa Luna. It's 1.5 ounces of Reposado tequila, 3/4 ounce of lemon juice, 3/4 ounce simple syrup, 8 to 10 fresh mint leaves, and kind of shake that up. I think that's going to be a very, very, very fine cocktail. Okay, we've got Tony Alexio. He said it first. Blair Thomas. Scott Foster said it well. Is it Blair Thomas? It sure is. 1990. The Jets drafted that absolute fumbling stiff number 2 overall. They could have drafted Emmitt Smith. Man. One more to go. Awesome, Jen. Do you have a go-to cocktail? I just got like a shaker about 2 weeks ago. So I'm starting to still learn how to maneuver it, learning how vigorously to shake and how to handle it. But yeah, I like doing that stuff. Have a glass of Prosecco. Oh, nice. Yeah, Prosecco's okay. It's okay. Ted Nugent. A Hemingway daiquiri. Ooh, if it's a Hemingway, are you going to survive it? So the Hemingway daiquiri is rum, maraschino liquor, lime juice, grapefruit juice. Does that have pineapple in it? No, apparently not. White rum, maraschino liquor, so like a cherry liquor, lime juice, and grapefruit juice. That's got like sweet, sour, and tart in it. That sounds like an interesting. I guess if you get the proportions right, that could be a pretty nice drink. I will drown in bliss. What year did we draft Mr. Daiquiri? It was we he actually liked to make let's see. Since when did I become a comedian? I've done my share of stand up at time. Yeah, I actually understand. So a Hemingway daiquiri is best when you're after you have a medical appointment and you actually smoke the fruit over hard wood, and that's why I really appreciate a hickory daiquiri dock. Hickory daiquiri dock. Yes, there we go. I can't believe I actually said hickory daiquiri dock, but I did. Aloha. I wish I had some Hawaiian music here for everybody. Ooh, Dark and Stormies. Those are some. You know, I actually had at the the 5 minutes are up. Yeah, Darnold was 3. It was not Santana Moss. No. I had a half and half at an Irish pub, which is half Guinness, half Harp Lager. And I'm not the biggest Guinness fan, but I really think you got to go to a place where they pour it correctly. And with the Harp Lager to sort of lighten it up a little bit, it was really nice. That was a half and half. It was good stuff. All right, guys, the 5 minutes are up, so I'll give you a little bit of a clue here. Offensive player, and you got to go back a little bit, like before Blair Thomas. Bundaberg Australian ginger beer. It's got a little yeast beer flavor. Man. Yeah, Jen, we got to get together and make some cocktails. That sounds great. Love it. Yeah, I tried not to make too hard of a question. I tried to make one that, I didn't want to get too obscure tonight. Scott Foster goes Altoon. No, it's not Altoon. But Scott, right church, wrong pew. You got the position right. Dane says Wesley Walker. No, it was not Wesley Walker. You guys about a minute. Oh, D. Milner. He was number 9. I remember that one. Yeah, number 9 before Sheldon Richardson was 13. So, so Wesley Walker was drafted in the 2nd round by the Jets. He was a number 33 pick. But you're in the right time frame and you're at the right position. No, Don Maynard was not drafted by the Jets. He was drafted by the Giants, was released, and the Jets signed him and became the best receiver of his era. I mean, when he retired, he was the NFL's all-time leading receiver in yardage. So that's not hyperbole. That's the truth. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and give it to you. Oh, there it is. Yep, there we go. Lee Cravat. David D gets it right as always. All right, guys, I'm sorry to tell you, but the correct answers were Zach Wilson, Blair Thomas, and Johnny Lamb Jones. Johnny Lamb Jones, who the Jets drafted for pure speed, did not last very long in the NFL, was a number 2 overall pick back in 1980. You talk to like any Jet fan, maybe about 50 years old or over, and they'll probably have some negative stories for you about Johnny Lamb Jones, who was really like a track star. The Jets were trying to get, Dallas had got, what was it, Bullet Bob Hayes, I believe it was. Yeah, Bullet Bob Hayes, who's an Olympic runner, just tried to do the same thing with Johnny Lamb Jones. And yeah, Scott, number freaking 2 draft pick. Yeah, not too good. So just for context on that pick, at the New York Sheraton Hotel. So you know who pick number 3 was? Anthony Munoz. Maybe the greatest tackle of all time goes to Cincinnati. And after that, you have Bruce Clark, who was a Pro Bowler. After that, not a lot of Art Monk was drafted 18th, who later became a Jet. Otis Wilson, great linebacker for Chicago. See if there's anybody else who's like really no. Dwight Stevenson, Hall of Fame center for the Dolphins, went in the 2nd round. And Steve McMichael, yeah, bless him, 3rd round. But the Jets did get Lance Smell in the 3rd round, who was a really good linebacker too. But to think the Jets could have had Anthony Munoz, and instead they took Johnny Lamb Jones. Oh, hurts my heart. All right, guys. Well, I'll tell you what. I think we're going to call it right there. And we'll be back next Wednesday at 6 p.m. So, hey, set your notification bell on the channel. That way you get notified immediately when I'm going on live. So I want to quickly thank everybody for dropping in tonight. Had a whole lot of fun. Hopefully we could maybe get a guest sometime this month. I'd definitely like to do that. But I'll tell you what, guys. Hope everybody has a fantastic, fun, and safe 4th of July. Eat, drink, whatever you want, but be sure to take a moment and just say thanks, say a prayer to be thankful to be living in the United States of America. All right, everybody. Everyone have a good night, and I'll see you. Scott, you missed the wheel. We did the wheel early tonight. We did do the wheel. We had to show Jennifer. We had to initiate Jennifer on the wheel. So, yeah, but we did do a wheel, and woof. All right, guys, I will see you right back here with more context from you know where. The Wicker Chair. Have a good night, everybody.